The South Korean authorities have just released their initial report on Jeju Air Flight 2216, and the report is interesting. The report's a mere 6 pages long, but includes some crucial details that have been missing in the news reports. The plane was a Boeing 737-800 that was originally delivered in 2009 to Ryanair. The 737-800 is the NG model fitted with CFM56 high bypass engines. Jeju Air has leased the plane since 2017 and has operated it under the registration HL8088. The captain had 6,823 total flight hours, with 6,096 of that being in the 737. Of those hours, around 2,500 were as the pilot in command, with 186 hours in the past 90 days. That meant that he was flying regularly. The first officer had 1,650 total hours, with 1,339 hours being on the 737. He'd also racked up 164 hours in the 3 months before the accident. The captain only had around 700 hours before transitioning to the 737, with the first officer having less than 300. This is in stark contrast to much of the rest of the world that requires 1,500 hours before a pilot transitions to a much more automated jet. The plane departed early Sunday morning at 4:30 a.m. for the red-eye flight. It's unclear if the pilots were well rested, which has been historically the cause of other major accidents. The plane was carrying 175 passengers and 6 crew members. At 8:54 and 43 seconds local time, around 4.5 hours after takeoff, the pilots requested to land. The wind was 110 at 2 knots, with few clouds at 4,500 feet, indicating that the weather was not a factor. The controller then cleared them to land on runway 01 as a straight-in approach facing northbound. 3 minutes later, at 8:57 and 50 seconds, the air traffic control tower alerted them of bird activity in the area. At 8:58 and 11 seconds, about 20 seconds after giving the warning, the pilots were heard on the cockpit voice recorder talking about a flock of birds below the aircraft. 60 seconds after giving that warning, at 8:58 and 50 seconds, the plane's cockpit voice recorders and flight data recorders both go silent. 6 seconds later, the pilots declared an emergency on the radio. Mayday, mayday, mayday. They had a bird strike and they were going around. The pilots flew over the left-hand side of the runway, followed by a right turn to land on runway 19. The plane then belly landed without flaps, landing gear, or even spoilers. The plane then touched down approximately 1,200 meters down the runway. The runway is approximately 2,800 meters long. At 9:02 a.m. and 57 seconds, the plane crashed into the soil embankment at the end of the runway. The post-accident investigation found that both engines were buried in the soil embankment. During the go-around, a security camera filmed the plane coming close to a flock of birds. During a post-accident engine analysis, bird feathers and blood were found in both engines. Analysis found that the birds were Baikal teals. They're a small migratory duck that breeds in Russia and winters in East Asia. This report lacks a lot of intricate details as it's required to be published within 30 days of the accident. The investigation board still needs to tear down the engines and analyze a bunch of other aviation components to find the accurate cause of the accident. In the meantime, they're providing recommendations to enhance aviation safety on urgent matters. For instance, South Korea will be removing earthen berms from 7 airports, including some of their busiest. It is unknown if other countries will follow suit with their own earthen berms. I'm following this and other aviation accidents, so be sure to hit the follow button for more aviation updates.